Welcome to physics classes for ninth standard. Today we are going to see the topic laws of motion. According to Isaac Newton, there are three laws of motion. They are named as first law, second law, and third law. Now we will directly go to the first law. See, before understanding first law, we need to be familiar with a term called inertia. So we'll start with inertia. We will see what is meant by inertia. Inertia is the inability of a body to change its state. See, the state we can classify as three types: state of rest, state of position, state of a particular direction, moving in a particular direction. So, every object has an inability to change its state. An object at rest has a tendency to continue to be at rest. The object at rest cannot change the state of rest, or it cannot move directly by itself. For a moving object, it has a tendency to continue to move. A moving object cannot stop by itself. An object moving in a particular direction has a tendency to continue to move in that particular direction. So this is called inertia. So there are three types of inertia. We can classify as inertia of rest. Inertia of rest is there. Then inertia of motion and inertia of direction. Okay, so there are three types of inertia: inertia of motion, inertia of rest, and inertia of direction. So what is inertia of rest? An object at rest has a tendency to remain at rest. It has the inability to move by itself. What is inertia of motion? An object in uniform motion has a tendency to continue to move uniformly. It has the inability to stop by itself. Inertia of direction. An object moving in a particular direction has a tendency to continue to move in the same direction. The object cannot change the direction by itself. Okay, so that's about inertia. Now we'll see what is Newton's first law. Statement of Newton's first law. According to first law, every object continues to be in its state of rest or uniform motion unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. Till an external unbalanced force acts on an object, every object continue to move, or every object continue to be in state of rest. So to change the state of rest or to change the state of motion or a particular direction, we need an external unbalanced force. This is known as Newton's first law. Okay, Newton's first law is also known as law of inertia because inertia is a term related to Newton's first law. Now we'll see examples for law inertia of rest, motion, and direction. For example, a person is standing in a bus. A person is standing in a bus. The bus is at rest. The bus suddenly takes forward. What happens? The person will fall backward. See, when the bus is moving forward, his feet will start to move forward along with the bus. But the upper part has a tendency to remain there. Okay, due to inertia of rest. The upper part want to stay there, but lower part move along with the bus. What's the tendency? The person is likely to fall backwards. Now, inertia of motion, we can see a similar example. We are standing in a bus. Suppose some of you are standing in a bus. The bus is moving uniformly, and the person is holding anywhere inside the bus. Suddenly, the bus stops. What happens? The person will move forward. Tendency to move forward. Why? Because when the bus suddenly stops, the person is having inertia of motion. But the lower part comes to rest along with the bus. But upper part has tendency to move forward. So the person fall forward. Inertia of direction. Suppose we are sitting in a bus, standing in a bus, or sitting in a bus. The bus is moving in a straight line in a particular direction. Suddenly the bus takes a sharp turn. What happens? The passengers fall to one of the sides. Passengers fall to one side. That's the inertia of direction. Okay, that's about inertia and Newton's first law of motion. So I'll just write, there are three laws of motion. We have seen what is first law. First law of motion. The laws of motions were developed by Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton is the person behind the laws of motion. So he has given us the first law of motion. And we have seen what is first law. First law is directly related to inertia. There are three types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Now, which is the quantity that depends on inertia? We can see mass is a measure of inertia. Mass is the main quantity which directly relates inertia. Mass is a measure of inertia. We can see we can say that heavy objects will be having more inertia compared to light objects. So in this way we can say mass is a measure of inertia. Okay. Now we need to see the second law of motion. So that's about first law. We have seen a few examples for first law. So if an object is in uniform motion, it has a tendency to continue to move unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. If an object is at rest, it has a tendency to continue to be at rest unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. Okay, that's called Newton's first law of motion. Now we will see second law of motion. Second law. There are three laws of motion. First we have seen, now we are going to see second law. Before going directly to the second law, we should be familiar with a term called momentum. Now what is momentum? Momentum is a property of objects which are moving. Momentum, we can have a symbol P. Momentum is a product of mass and velocity. When we multiply mass with velocity, the quantity is called moment. See, moment is actually the effect or the impact produced by the moving objects. Moving objects will have velocity and mass. If velocity of an object increases, the impact the object can produce will increase. Likewise, mass also. If mass and velocity both of an object increase, then the impact the moving object can produce increase. For example, let us consider a cycle and a car. Both are moving with the same speed, and both are hitting two persons. See, if the person is hit by the car, the injury will be more compared to the person hit by the cycle, because cycle is having less mass. Both are moving with the same speed. Okay, so that's a concept of momentum. According to Newton's second law, see, if you exert a force on an object, see, we can say we have an object of mass m. We exert a force on the object. Let the object is initially traveling with a velocity u. What happens when you exert a force on the moving object? Its velocity will change. I can say now the same object moving with a velocity v. Let t be the time taken to change the velocity from u to v. According to Newton's second law, the force acting on this object is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. What is the rate of change? That is change in momentum by time. Final momentum is m into v minus initial momentum is m into u. This is change in momentum. Then divide by time. Change in momentum by time is called rate of change of momentum. So we can write f proportional to m is common. We can write v minus u by t. What is v minus u by t? We have seen in first chapter is acceleration is change in velocity by time. V minus u means change in velocity by time is acceleration. We can write f proportional to m into a. Or we can put a constant here, f is equal to k into m into a. We can choose a value k to be 1. You will get f is equal to m into a. This is the equation for force that we have derived with the help of Newton's second. What is statement of Newton's second law? According to Newton's second law, the force acting on an object is directly proportional to a rate of change of momentum. Okay, so we have got the change in momentum by time, that is known as the rate of change of momentum. Thereby we have got equation of force. Force is equal to mass into acceleration. Now we need a few examples for the Newton's second law. We can see that here we can see denominator as time. Okay, when the time increases, force will be less. It is inversely related. When time is less, force will be large. See, those who are practicing karate, you might have seen that those persons who practice karate, they're breaking pile of tiles. They will keep tiles one over the another, and using the hand they will cut it. See, to cut it, they have to move the hand very fast. When they move the hand very fast, time will be less, then force will be large. Okay, suppose a person is jumping from a 3-storied building to a cemented floor. See, the person will be coming to rest very quickly when he is jumping to a cemented floor from a 3-storied building. Very quickly means less time, large force will be exerted on his body. He will get more injuries. If the person is landing on a heap of sand, what happens? Sand is flexible. See, it will take some time for the person, the velocity of person to become zero. It will take more time compared to the first case. More time means less force. So less force will be exerted on the person, then injury will be less compared to landing on cemented floor. Okay, so like this we can find many examples for Newton's second law of motion. So the main effect is whenever the time of impact increases, the force decreases. Time of impact decreases, force increases. Okay, so that's about Newton's second law of motion. The important concept we are learning here is momentum. P is equal to m into v. Okay, now we'll see Newton's third law. Third law of motion. So we have seen first law and second law. Now third law, according to third law, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. That is a statement of Newton's third. If there is an action, then there will be an equal and opposite reaction. Actually, action and reaction, they exert on different objects. That's an important point. If action is acting on one object, reaction will be on the other object. For example, while we are swimming, so actually what we are doing, we are pushing the water backwards. Okay, that's called action. What the water will do? Water will exert a force on the person. That's called reaction. By the reaction, the person can move forward. Okay, another example is the recoiling of gun. When we fire a bullet from a gun, the gun is likely to move backward. It will just kick backwards. Why? It is due to a reaction. The movement of bullet can be treated as an action. Then kicking of the gun backwards can be considered as a reaction. Action and a reaction. Okay, so that's our Newton's third law. We have seen first, second and third law of motion. We have seen many examples also for first law, second law and third law. I hope that you have understood. Thank you.